So thank you for the opportunity to speak today. We're really excited to be part of the Cure Corridor community. There are companies, healthcare institutions, business leaders here, and I think it's just amazing looking over the past 3 years at how quickly this has grown. It really speaks to Mayor Lane's office's leadership as well as the opportunity in front of us. And what I'm going to tell you about today is how we at Systems Imagination see a tremendous opportunity to harness big data, and we'll talk about that, to truly personalized medicine. So Systems Imagination is a 2-year-old startup, homegrown here in Arizona. My co-founder over there, Spiro Moussess at Table 9, and I decided we should marry this amazing research that he was doing at the time at TGen about how to make knowledge valuable and how to make it actionable with the tremendous market opportunity that exists to transform healthcare with big data analytics. Now, after 2 years, we're about a dozen people. We have MBAs, PhDs, IT experts, and we have a world-renowned advisory and clinical expertise that really helps the company be the most innovative venture in the Valley when it comes to the intersection of IT and healthcare. Our mission is to take our technology and our core expertise and help our customers find and leverage the insights in their big data. And we do that by aggregating all of the information that's out there in the public about the biology of disease, the drugs and how they act, and the patients and what they suffer from. And we use our highly specialized knowledge to perform, analyze, and interpret data from new diagnostic tools like Genomics. You heard about it earlier today. And we create these databases of that content, and we integrate all that information across those databases. What comes out at the end is what we term a knowledge base, and what we do is knowledge engineering. We help the data evolve from what it is today, which is just massive amounts of information, into the very small amounts of insights that you can pull out of that information to make it actionable. So we've been successful so far in doing all those things that are critical to making a startup succeed. You know, we've got the right people, we've got a real market opportunity, we've got technology, we've got some barriers to others doing what we do. But the challenges that we face are the same challenges that others in this room face. And it's really how do you take that initial growth and continue it on an exponential curve? How do you continue to hire the right people? How do you address the market opportunity? How do you continue to develop your assets? And so I wanted to just spend a quick moment to talk about big data because this will explain why we think we know what we need to do, and we hope that this community helps support that. I think everybody knows what big data is, but in healthcare and life sciences, in our industry, there aren't really very good, clear, simple examples of how value has come out of analysis of big data. In other industries, financial markets, when you can tell whether the market's going to go up or down, or economies perform, or jobs created or lost, sure, there's an immediate economic value, a dollar value to analyzing big data. But in healthcare, that's not necessarily the case. People talk about 3 V's when they talk about big data. They talk about velocity, they talk about volume, and they talk about variety. That's how they define big data. I'm actually going to add 2 more V's to that acronym, or that, whatever it is, mnemonic. Value, and the other is validation. And so I think some of you have seen some of this before, but just to make the point, the top left of this slide is a panel that shows you that Moore's law is, since the 60s, what has driven everything that's electronic today. And we can all recognize the immediate technological transformation of our lives as human beings by electronics. That's that little line that's going in a kind of linear fashion. The green line is actually the cost of sequencing over the past 15 years since the first human genome was sequenced. And that took 10, 15 years and $3 billion. Today, one human genome can be done for $1,400. All right, now the average CAT scan, if you look online at Honor Health, I think it's cheaper than this, but I think it's about $1,000. So the reality is everyone in this room in the next 5 to 10 years is going to have their whole genome sequenced because it's going to be that cheap. But we really still to this day don't really know how to validate the information that comes out of that. We have some inklings. We know some biology, but we don't know the full story. We can't prove that for every person who has a disease, from their genome, we can define exactly what treatment will work on exactly what patient for exactly what disease. And that's really the challenge. And the bottom left is an example of, thanks to Booz Allen, kind of how adoption of technologies occurs in medicine. And I want to say that I'm really encouraged that here in the Valley, we have 3 of those things nailed. We've got testing technology from companies like Theranos. We're going to provide the bioinformatics here. And physician adoption at places like Honor Health. That's critical. And we've got that here in the Valley. So let me just give you 2 quick slides on what it is that we look at every day and why this is important. This is a way to look at genomes. It's just one way. It's a very, very high level view. This represents 2 genomes from the same patient. Now, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that there are differences between those 2 panels. Actually, we have a rocket scientist at our table right there, Chell. He can tell us if he sees something different. These are the guys who put a spacecraft over near Pluto to give us pictures of Pluto. So I don't know if you see anything there, Chell, but what I see is there are big differences, huge. This is across every chromosome in the human genome. This is normal tissue on the left from a patient, and then on the right is tumor tissue from that same patient. All right, so how are you going to see what's going on here? Well, you got to get more granular. And if you look, I don't know how it's coming out on the screen there, I can't see it, but there's a chromosome 17, and there's a certain region of chromosome 17 that we're going to zoom in on real quick. This is a famous gene, BRCA1. Okay, this is showing exons and introns. And up here at the very top, it's very hard for me to point without pointing, is a region where there are mutations in a particular exon of that gene. All right, this is the gene that Angelina Jolie made her decision on. She had a particular mutation in that gene, and she decided to take action because we know that with that mutation and family history of cancer, she would have a very strong likelihood of developing breast or ovarian cancer. But it's not 100%. That's the thing. She might have been in that 5% that didn't get it, right? But all of us today are in the situation of, because of our healthcare, such great healthcare in the Western societies, we're going to live long enough to have most people in this room, we're going to see cancer at some point. 1 out of 2 males, 1 out of 3 females, right? What's fascinating about cancer and why we want to focus on it is not just the economic value, which is at top there, but when you look at the studies that are coming out today, this is a most recent study from a group in San Diego, the vast majority of cancers can be studied molecularly and patients can be put on the right drug. It's just our ability to actually sieve through all that data and find the right mutation to identify the right drug. And people like Dr. Dan Von Hoff at Honor Health, they're the ones who are doing it right now here in the Valley. And that's what's totally exciting to me. So I'm going to leave you with the last 2 slides. I know I'm over by a minute or 2 here. The first is we're really, again, excited because we're seeing more and more big data. It's going to be 1 million genomes from one project in the US. China's sequencing 1 billion people as we speak, okay? That's going to be a national asset. What's the US going to do about it? What are the companies going to do about it? We're one of over 140 different companies doing genome data analysis, but we're here in the Valley. We're the only one that's doing it right now today here in the Valley as a company. What we need is a collaborative ecosystem, local government support, which we have thanks to Mayor Lane, and I think talent. I mean, the ASU has 82,000 students. You know, they grant degrees in this, but where do they go? And we'd love to see them stay here and work for companies like Systems Imagination, because we can do things here that we can't do in San Francisco or Boston. We can fly under the radar, and we can truly be pioneers like how a lot of our previous generation came out to Arizona. That's I think, what we could focus on here in Arizona. So finally, I'll just end with pointing to the table number 9 over there. Some of our guests are listed. It's about the interdisciplinary nature of how to bring science, technology, and all that knowledge to bear in medicine. And the folks over there at Table 9 are really experts in their field, and we're honored to be here. So thank you very much for the invitation. Love to talk to you later. Thank you.